amongst club security, isn't there? Especially these days when it seems as though there's more going on.
People emphasize a lot on the searching. I mean, the searching, yes, it could always be bad anywhere.
Yeah.
But it's, as I said, it depends on the person that's controlling that security, that's running that nightclub. I mean, my number one, I wouldn't say it's going to stop it, but for me, I mean, what's a bigger thing that, that a lot of clubs don't do is having pay duties. You know, that stops, period, anything.
Yeah.
You know, if you're really that crazy to do something with 2 officers, 3 officers standing on
Pay
front.
duty, you mean bring off-duty cops in and,
A lot of my events, whatnot, depending if it's, more of a cater to a...
Is there more of that going on, you think?
It was stopped for a while, and then now it's starting to pick up again because a lot of, clubs are realizing that if you want to keep the heat off of yourself, not just in the sense of the liquor board, but just the heat off period, you provide that presence at the front.
Yeah, and that works.
It speaks volumes right there.
I guess it does, eh? And it happens, I guess, from time to time as well that the police have to be called, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not that's not an unusual, I wouldn't think, an unusual occurrence at all. Okay, Victor's up next. Victor, go ahead, please.
Yes, how are you doing?
Pretty good.
Thanks a lot. I noticed the fact that they mentioned about the searching.
Yeah.
And I do possibly have one recommendation. When they actually do the search, can't they also use one of those metal detectors, those wands? I noticed that they definitely help a lot. Once a lot of people, they see they're using the wands, if they're carrying anything inside their shoe, they usually dump it when they actually enter the club.
Yeah.
I was just wondering what their take on it.
Well, I think Derek's earlier point was that the ones being used aren't very good.
They're not. I'll tell you straight, like 90%, the ones that are out there, they're $70, $80. And they pick up everything. Like, from a ring on your finger to...
I wouldn't know the difference between a ring and a gun.
Exactly.
Is that what you're saying?
And a lot of times, unless you are seriously going to trust your own judgment, to me, if something feels off, I have no problems telling somebody, empty your shoe. I have no problem saying, you know what, if you refuse to search, that's fine with me.
Easy.
I've got 2,000 people that are standing behind you that want to get in just as bad.
Yeah.
So people make that call. People who, a couple of the last callers that called, and said they don't really feel safe, going to these places and whatnot because, the searching could be done, done better. But 9 out of 10, once again, more people will continue to keep coming back. To me, if you feel that the club isn't safe and you've been there before,
pick another club.
Pick another club. Why are you going to continue to keep going back?
Yeah.
But a lot of times people, as I said, that's when you get to the point where a club's busy. And G-Spot on Sunday was a very busy club. But the type of crowd that was coming in there wasn't a crowd that I even promote to.
So that crowd that came into that club, you would have looked at that crowd and said, well, there could be a problem here. You would know that.
I would know.
And Dave, you would have known that seeing them come in the front door, right?
Exactly. That's what I was saying before. A lot depends on the crowd, and then you can usually tell what crowd is bad.
Yeah.
Just by the way they carry on and the way they dress.
What, they're rowdy or they don't...
a lot of them are rowdy.
They're
They'll
rowdy.
make a lot of noise. Like, we get some people trying to get in...
Are these obvious gang guys? Do you see gang colors or gang indicators? Is that...
No. Well, sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. It depends on how they dress that night to go out. Like, some of them will carry their colors, but some of them won't, right?
Yeah.
So,
is there a particular problem age group?
The market now... It's not like before. The market before was, 6, 7 years ago, was mainly 19 to 35.
Yeah.
The market now in the nightclub scene, Toronto nightlife, on a Friday, Saturday, is, there's probably only, I would say, 3 major clubs that have an older crowd. The rest are mainly 17 to 19, which are getting underage getting in there. And then you've got...
and the older crowd aren't with those generally.
The 19 to 21.
So they can be potentially the more troublesome crowds than the younger ones?
It's because of the fact, as I said, they haven't been in that element where they've been able to appreciate the scene the way it was. If you've been partying since...
you're new to it. You don't know, right? Yeah.
To now or, to 2000, before it was all about the music. You could go there, with 20, 30 of your friends, where... And all they just vibe, say you're in your 30s now, and you started partying when you were 19, 20. The older vibe back then was basically, if you went to an all-ages party, you'd come there at 9 o'clock, and you would leave at 3 o'clock. You see, now, later in the nightclub scene now, people are coming into clubs 12:30, 1 o'clock. Why? Is because they can't stand to be there longer than an hour. Because there's either something's going to happen, something pretends it's going to happen, or people don't want to be around the young
late. Well, is that another danger sign? Another red flag? Late arrivals to a club?
That's because you know what happens? People go.
They've been somewhere else.
Drinking,
something's happened.
And they get in, but that's up to the discretion of the owner.
Victor, thank you very much. Let's go to Catherine in Mississauga. Hello, Catherine.
Hi there. Thanks for taking my call.
No problem, Catherine.
I do feel safe in the nightclub. Actually, I work in 2 nightclubs.
Yeah?
One is a younger age crowd, and
how young? What do you mean?
I'd say 19 to probably 23, 24.
Right.
And they do get searched with the wand and so on and so forth. I also work in an older club, and that club, they do not search.
How old is that crowd?
And they don't let anybody under 25 in.
So it's 25 to what? How old?
25 to, I'd say, mid-40s.
Mid-40s?
Oh, yeah.
Really, eh?
But I was wondering what the guys thought about female security, and if that is becoming more and more obvious in clubs regarding the searches and maybe even the fighting.
Do you think that's a good idea or a bad idea?
I think if they're fully trained properly, I think it's a great idea.
How do you feel about female security?
Female security is the best thing to have in a nightclub. You know,
really?
Especially because
of their ability maybe to reason a little bit?
Not just reason. I mean, a male security approaching a female can get himself into a lot of hot water. You know, it just takes a second for a woman to say, this guy grabbed me in a certain way.
Yeah.
And then you're spending the next 6-7 months in court defending yourself on something that you didn't even do.
Yeah.
If you have a female presence, 9 out of 10, you know, they come into the situation. It's easier for the male security to step back and say, you know what? You deal with the situation, you get it out quicker. Because women like to deal with women on a one-on-one level. They can talk to them a little bit differently. I mean, there's some girls who get completely out of control, where there's been times where a lot of females...
You mean the patrons who get completely out of control?
They can act worse than a male.
Yeah.
Because the fact, you know what, they can get away with it.
Yeah.
You know, they can...
So then it takes a woman's security officer
to deal with it. Because, I mean, no male security is going to turn around and knock a woman senselessly. Yeah. Nobody. You know, I mean, unless you're just an idiot. Yeah. You know, so here, if you have a girl in your face...
Well, let's not exclude the possibility there are some idiots.
No, and there are.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay, thank you very much for that, Catherine.